everyone. Today I have a journal to share, which is my Junky junk journal made out of a file folder full of all kinds of junk and scraps and packaging, and you'll get to see. Here we go. This closure is elastic cording from this little guy here. And inside, this is the part of the file folder. I'm trying just a lighter light. I hope it's enough lighting, and you'll let me know, I hope, if it is not, because my other light was giving quite a glare on this. So this file folder has kind of a waxy coating, and my glue, I was making this pocket here, was not holding, and it was tacky glue, so I stitched it here, and then that's holding a whole lot better. So this is some tag from some luggage we had to purchase. I have put coffee dyed scraps in and tied it off with a simple pamphlet stitch with some crochet cotton. Here's a bag that I was given from my friend Liz. Thank you, Liz. And I did goof when I was putting it in here and had to trim it shorter. But it's still good, and you only know that because I told you, right? This came from the Flow magazine. Here is some packaging, the inside label from a set of greeting cards that I had, which had this image and this image. And this is some dictionary page, some book page tucked behind here that these are actually two book pages glued together, but I've cut out with a die cut and had that sitting around. Some vintage packaging from some vintage rickrack I found at the thrift store. A scrap of fabric behind here. And this little die cut here was cut out on Post-it note paper years ago, and I had made for my children a dollhouse stacking shoe boxes together, and inside the rooms I had some die cuts decorating. Well, when that got too beat up to use and had to be recycled, I just peeled the Post-it note paper images off, and I've been able to use them in things like journals. And so they're living their life again, and it would come off easily, but I didn't glue it back on or anything. It's still a Post-it adhesive. This is a clothing tag, and actually this string I think came from a different clothing tag, and I just put it on here and put some magazine paper on the back. The clothing tag. This is some old ledger paper that's been coffee dyed, and it's sewn onto this bright yellow grid paper to make a pocket with some lace here and a scrap of a paper pad here, and an image from a garden book that the book did not survive, but I saved some of the images. This came out of the UW Columns magazine. Cute little article I decided to save, and I love that little tandem bike. Oh, and this was in here. So this is my second attempt at this video. Now you know that I already tried it once, but I did not get good sleep last night, and so I'm going to try this again and do a better job, I hope, this time. This map was in my son's room for a while, and he decided he didn't want it anymore and threw it in the recycling. And I saw it there, and I thought, oh, I can use that, and took it out of the recycling. And I've saved it, and it's going in this book. So this guest check came from my friend Liz. Thank you, Liz, for that. It's so cute. I love these. It's a thin, kind of a thin material of the guest check, but I've stitched it onto this packaging, which is really cute packaging. And there's another little tuck here of some remnant from the file folder, and I've stitched on and glued this bow here. Did both because I really didn't want it coming off of there. And I'm going to just set that there like I had last time. This paper was, I believe, a freebie printout from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. It's got kind of the little coffee rings, but it's a bluish color. And in here, pretend that was still in there. This was an envelope that came with some flowers that were delivered to us. stitched it on here, and this is a sample clothing tag. I've gessoed over it with some gesso that was mixed with a little bit of vintage photo inker to give it a darker look. Just some grid paper there, cut out from a magazine. This was a card that was given out at a Halloween type party last year. And this is a funny story. My daughter learns violin, and the teacher had asked me to make some photocopies of the song. So I went in there, and I didn't realize that my photocopy printer was set to like 7 copies or something. I don't know how it got that way, or if I just did that. Well, it starts shooting out copies, and I'm like, oh no, stop! And I did get it to stop, but I had like 5 copies or 4 copies, and then I thought, oh, I can use that for music paper. So I coffee dyed it, and I have a few of those, and it's working out great. I think this might have been a receipt or something that faded. I don't know, I kept it there. Some more scrap paper there. This was from a bill. Who wants to keep those, huh? No, and it's got the little window envelope. We usually pay online, so don't need those. I've stitched it together. Added a little scrap of lace, and this is another packaging, piece of packaging with some ribbon and fibers and an image from that garden book. And this was some hand-dyed seam binding that I had used way back in my Jane Austen junk journal and had some scraps left over. Here's a beautiful image that came out of the Columns magazine. That's Drumheller Fountain at the University of Washington campus. Yeah, let's show you the pretty colors. I love those purples. So there's a little tag there as a tab, and some more packaging there. This was a cute, tiny little playing card set that one of my children lost many of the cards, and when I find them laying around, I've been gathering them up and saving them because they're really cute. And so you can see the beautiful countryside. Looks like a hawk on that tree there. Countryside, well, the forests of Washington. This was a misprint. This image is from Cameo Shop, and I had accidentally printed it out on just copy paper, real light thin stuff, and I didn't want that because I had wanted to use it as like a tag. And so I hung on to it because it's a beautiful image, and I've backed it onto this beautiful packaging, and it is quite sturdy on there, and the image does not get wasted, nor my ink for that matter, because that stuff's expensive. Again, these hearts, I had to use all my muscle, but I was able to use my punch and punch it out of some packaging. So it's quite thick, but it's pretty. Some of that packaging for these scrapbook things are very pretty. This I actually purchased, this ledger type paper from A Tattered Dream, Denise Sayes' shop. And also this pretty turquoise eyelash trim came from there as well. The butterfly was punched out of one of these pages, as was the flower, and I set it aside and reused it here. Another aerial view of some of the University of Washington campus. There was just writing on this side, so I have covered it up with some coffee dyed paper that I actually baked a little too long, and it had become brittle and wasn't working well for a page in a journal. I hung on to it, and I've been using it here and there. And this was a clothing item. It's kind of a canvas material, and I've gessoed it so that hopefully it can be written on in this journal. Some scrapbook paper and a sticker that I've had just laying around. This image here came from the Close to My Heart, one of the Close to My Heart stamping catalogs, and I thought it was really cute and cut it out. And I used some markers or something to color it. This was a dimensional sticker that had come off its sticker sheet and was just kind of laying around. And it had, this side had a little circle mounting tape there, and then this was on top of it. And so I just took it apart and used it as a little tab there. And a beautiful image. This was some advertising from a church. I believe it was from many years ago when we visited Europe. And so it has whatever the event information on the back. This came from a little old village in Michigan. I think it was from Greenfield Village. And it was a little pamphlet in there, and I've just gessoed over it. I'm not sure though. It could have been a different. It came from a historical, like a living museum, but now I'm not sure which one. So here is an envelope that was some sort of bill or letter or something, and I actually flipped it inside out. You can kind of see the stamp in there. And this is wrapping paper here and some Inca gold on the edge there. This was an advertising card, nice cardstock. I got it. They give it when you order things from Scrapbook.com. They have these little advertising cards, and I've backed it with that coffee dyed paper that was brittle, and here I just covered up the little advertising part with that too. I love the little rainbow of colors of their products that they offer. On the other side is some vintage lace square doily. I adhere that with matte gel medium. And another one of those images from Cameo Shop, some vintage lace scrap behind here and some other lace trim. This card was a postcard, but it was also an advertisement for a restaurant somewhere in eastern Washington that we visited, and they told me that the woman here in the wedding dress is related to the owner of the restaurant, and so there's a family picture there, and I liked that. It was real pretty, so I put that in there and stitched it, made it a pocket. Another sticker there, some scrapbook paper. This image came out of the Columns magazine, and I just thought he was cute, and that bike is really neat. And look at those old cars in the background. And then there's more of those coffee dyed paper scraps, kind of covering up a lot of the lettering that I wasn't as interested in seeing. Another envelope, junk mail envelope. I think I covered up something here with a scrap of paper. It was probably some kind of coding, something I wasn't interested in seeing. This cute tag, I love this little tag, came from getting one of our chairs repaired, and they put that tag on it. I was so excited when I saw the tag. I was excited the chair was fixed too, but the tag was so cute. And this is some packaging from some washi tape I bought. This was the pattern on the washi tape. And it just makes a really cute tag. The packaging. I just rounded the corners and tied some of this hand-dyed seam binding on there. And the other side of the ledger paper, little scrap of lace and a punch, a hard punch I think I've been having laying around for a long time. This is a funny little thing I found. It was in a package of stuff I got at the thrift store. They're called cookbook page markers. And it's got a funny quote, "Never eat more than you can lift." That would be Miss Peggy's advice. I think that's really good advice. And some more beautiful scenery from Washington, from the Columns magazine, and some tickets stapled on to make a tab. There's the other part of Drumheller Fountain, looking beautiful in the nighttime light. Nighttime lack of light. There's another clothing tag that is a neat shape, and I have adhered some post-it note on here. This was from a post-it note set that I have, and a playing card rescued from the recycle, and this was getting kind of beat up, so I thought if I glue this on here, that'll give it a lot more structural integrity and hold it together so it won't come apart. Here I've got a little scrap of some flower trim and a garment pin with a tiny little scrap from this ribbon, and then this bird. I'm not sure where the bird came from, but it was some sort of mistake because he's still glued onto the strings, and I just, I thought he was really cute, and I kept him and finally found a place to use him. Hung him on here. And I have some dictionary page here with another piece of packaging, just clipped off the word art. Some more of that coffee paper, and the other side of that map flips out, and this was a scrap that's been sitting in my dish of things for a while. Another little scrap there. Some advertising from some markers I bought, which is, you know, an interesting little image, and I've glued it here and here to make this pocket. And inside we have another clothing tag with beautiful floral design. This part of this vintage check I had printed out a long time ago from Pinterest, and I had kept what I hadn't used, and so I put it on the back of that clothing tag. This game was given away without all of its pieces, apparently, because cleaning up I found this cute. Came from some kind of Monopoly, but not the normal Monopoly, some kind of kids Monopoly game, and thought that was cute. And then this lonely card is a little bit beat up. It is a playing card, and it's missing its set, but I love the image on here. And so I've been collecting game cards from the poor neglected games that are no longer intact, and they're adorning this journal here. So this is stitched on the side to make a pocket. Some more packaging, Prima flowers, and I've collaged some scrap papers and coffee dyed doily there. This was a very intricate part of a clothing tag. It was hanging with a different thread. I think, oops, sorry. I think it had a black one, but I didn't want the black on there, and so I took it off and tied it here. Some scraps here, a little fastener and garment pin. This is a coffee dyed index card. This image was also from some post-it notes that I had, so I just adhered that on there. And we have some little scraps here, a tiny garment pin and some tiny tags, little lace flower, and book page hearts. They're stitched together in the middle. This was the inspiration from the journal that Amy Chan sent to me. And actually a lot of the things in here I got ideas from her, and was really excited to try doing a journal that is all stuff that is rescued and saved from other things. So here's a bag. Well, that's the other half of that orange bag from Liz, and there's just a scrap of paper in there. And that's the end. I really wasn't sure how I was going to do the file folder part of this, and I really love how it turned out. Because sometimes I'll cut it and then I think, oh well, I wanted to do a pocket or something, and so I waited this time and just left some of it on, and that was great because then I decided to do this section here and be able to close it like that, you see. And I like how that turned out. And the simple elastic cover, it's easy on, easy off, or cover, what do you call that? Closure. Sorry, wrong word. Anywho, thanks for letting me share today, and as always, have a great day, and hopefully I will be up again soon with another video. Bye bye!